Hello everyone, Genki here, and today we're going to see if I can beat Pokemon Scarlet with my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, Leavanny. Leavanny is a 3rd stage bug grass Pokemon with a 500 base stat total. We're going to be a very fast physical attacker, with decent bulk. However, the reason this might be a challenge is because of Leavanny's weaknesses. 6 weaknesses, with 2 of them being 4 times weaknesses. We need to start the runs with Swaddle, who has a 310 base stat total, the same as a first form starter. Swaddle evolves into Swadloon at level 20, and into Leavanny via High Friendship. By looking at our level up list, we'll be relying on bug and grass moves. We'll probably rely on Law and Razor Leaf until we can get Leavanny. By looking at Leavanny's TM list, we can see that Leavanny gives a wide assortment of moves. Clavell stuck out to me, because the speed boost could help Swaddle and Swadloon. All the support moves could also come in handy. Reflected Light Screen, Iron Defense, Sword Stance. This is looking like a fun run. Let's go over the rules. I can only use the Leavanny line in battle. No items in battle, only held items outside of combat are allowed. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, if you notice that I haven't been using my VTuber model, it's because my laptop is having a hard time supporting VTube Studio and OBS. However, if I can reach YouTube Partner, I'm fully willing to buy myself an actual PC, which might be able to support the 2 programs with no issues. With that out of the way, let's start the run. I decided to transfer in a Swaddle through Pokemon Home. By doing this, we gave ourselves the Swaddle right before the catching tutorial. We got a male Swaddle, so I named him Sebastian. Leavanny comes from the words leaf and nanny, so my mind was like male nanny equals butler, and Sebastian was the only good name I could think of. He had a grass terror type, and a modest nature, which was not preferable since it lowered Sebastian's physical attack. However, we could change that later. This interaction led to me discovering Nemona will notice the Pokemon's change, despite no way of catching Pokemon before this. For once, I could show the first Arven battle. However, Sebastian was already level 11, so he easily beat Arven's Swolbat with Bug Bite. I then beeline straight to the entrance of Mezagoza for our first Nemona battle. Quaxly was a 3-hit KO with Bug Bite, but only hit Sebastian once before wasting its second turn on Workout. Nemona's Palmy was no worry for Sebastian, since he was part grass. Palmy will only use Thundershock, which Sebastian resists. It went down in 2 Bug Bites. Inside Mezagoza, we picked up the Miracle Seed and Silver Powder from the Delibird Express for more damage to our grass and bug moves. We then headed east. Sebastian was in no shape to face the Bug Gym. Right outside the gate, we could grind on Shinx and Makuhitas in order to raise Sebastian's physical attack. We did this until Sebastian was at level 15 when he learned Razor Leaf. We then took on our first Titan, Claw. Claw went first and went for Rock Smash, which got an instant defense drop, as our Turbo's Razor Leaf got crit, taking Claw down to half, activating his Anger Shell. Claw then wasted his turn on Block, allowing us to take it out. On to phase 2. Claw started with Block, as Arven's Shudder went for Water Gun, doing good damage. Sebastian's Razor Leaf then took Claw to just above half. Claw then wasted his turn on a Block on Shudder, as Shudder went for Life Dew, with both of us at full health. Razor Leaf then took Claw to a quarter, activating its Anger Shell. Claw then went for Rock Tomb, taking Sebastian to a third. Shudder decided to use Life Dew again. This time it actually did something. Sebastian's Razor Leaf then only took Claw to a sliver. However, this caused Shudder to go for its priority Ice Shard, winning us the battle. I was still not sure if Sebastian could beat the Bug Gym, so I decided to get him to level 20 to evolve him, and then I took on the Bug Gym. Sebastian went first, but Nimble survived Bug Bite. Its Struggle Bug did almost a quarter before we took it out. Against Tarantula, Bug Bite took it to a quarter, as its Bug Bite took Sebastian to just above half. We took it out the next turn, leaving only Teddiursa. Bug Bite took Teddiursa to half health, but then Sebastian survived Teddiursa's Terra Boosted Fury Cutter with red health, winning us our first badge. On to the second gym, the Grass Gym. Petal and Smoliv were both one-shots with Bug Bite. Against Sudowoodo, we had to Terastallize in order to lose Sebastian's weakness to rock moves. Bug Bite took Sudowoodo to above half. Sudowoodo then went for Trailblaze, raising its speed. It then switched to Rock Throw, but the damage was so little, Sebastian easily finished off Sudowoodo. This rewarded us with the TM for Trailblaze, which I immediately taught to Sebastian. With 2 badges, I made my way to South Province Area 5. The Pokemon League up there gives the Eviolite, a hell item that gives unevolved Pokemon a 50% boost to defense and special defense. To get it, we needed to beat 7 trainers. It was not exactly a walk in the park though. There was a couple of really strong trainers, but then suddenly at level 23, Sebastian evolved into Leavanny, making this trip pointless. Upon evolving, Sebastian learned Slash, a good neutral damage move. With our plans changed, I made a trip to Delibird Express to buy a Power Bracer. When holding a Power Bracer, Sebastian gets more attack EVs for every Shinx and Malkophita he takes out. We did this until Sebastian had max attack. We then made our way west to take on our second Titan, Bombardier. I trash sliced Sebastian, so Bombardier's flying move only did 2 times damage. Slash was looking like a 3-hit KO, which was bad, because Bombardier's Pluck was a 3-hit KO. Thankfully Sebastian was faster. However, we did end the battle with only 9 HP. This Titan battle had no pause in between phases 1 and 2, so we were entering phase 2 with only 9 HP, causing Sebastian to go down. I took Sebastian around the area, taking out all the trainers, getting him up to level 28. This made phase 1 Bombardier now a 2-hit KO. For phase 2, Slash did a third, as Bombardier used Torment on Noctli. Noctli then used Rock Polish, raising its speed. Sebastian's next Slash got a crit, taking Bombardier to a sliver. Bombardier then decided to use Rock Throw on Noctli, just for Noctli to turn around and finish up Bombardier with his own Rock Throw. With Bombardier defeated, I went down to the Poke Center to pick up the Clear Amulet from the Pokemon League rep. The Clear Amulet allows the holder to negate all stat drops. I then forgot to equip it on Sebastian and take out the Team Star Dark Base. For Pawniard, I had Sebastian terrestrialize, since I knew Pawniard had Aerial Ace. Trailblaze did half, as Pawniard's Aerial Ace did a quarter. We took up Pawniard with a second Trailblaze. Last was Giacomo Snarl, which has Intimidate. Despite being +2 speed, the Snarl still went first, and went for Metal Sound, lowering Sebastian's special defense. Bellblade then did a third to the Snarl. The Snarl's Snarl took Sebastian to half, as our second Bug Bite did another third. We were in no trouble, as the Snarl's second Snarl left Sebastian on a quarter, giving us the opening to finish off the Snarl. Next up was the city of Levincia, where we had a battle with Nimona, but her team were all one-shots with Razor Leaf. On to the Electric Gun. Walter survived Slash to red health, allowing it to use Wing Attack. It didn't do that much damage, but then out came Luxio with Intimidate. Thankfully we got a crit with Razor Leaf, one-shotting Luxio. Next out was Bellybolt, who survived Razor Leaf with green health. Its Spark took Sebastian to half health, and also paralyzed him. This was bad because once we took out Bellybolt, all that remained was Mismagius, who outsped and took out Sebastian with the boosted Hex. On our second attempt, I gave Sebastian the Clear Amulet to negate Luxio's Intimidate. Luxio was again a one-shot. Bellybolt was now a 2-hit KO, but this time, its Spark did not paralyze Sebastian. This allowed us to outspeed Mismagius. Razor Leaf only took Mismagius to a quarter, as it used Confuse Ray. Sebastian then hit himself, as Mismagius' Hex took Sebastian another half. The next turn, Sebastian thankfully did not hit himself, taking out Mismagius. With it close by, I decided to try our next Titan, Earthworm. That ain't happening. How about the Water Gym? Veluza survived Trailblaze and went for Pluck. Since Sebastian was not terrestrialized, he took 4 times damage, leaving him at a quarter. I then terrestrialized Sebastian. It took out Veluza with the second Trailblaze. With +2 speed, we easily outsped Trio and one-shot it. Last is Clavell. We got a crit, one-shotting it as well. The Water Gym was pretty close to the lake, so I went and picked up the team for Swords Dance. Leavanny learned this move naturally, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to learn it a few levels early. I then decided to retry Earthworm. As we set up a single Swords Dance, Earthworm went for Wrap. Razor Leaf did it a third. Earthworm decided to switch to Headbutt instead of its stronger Iron Tail, allowing Sebastian to take out Phase 1 Earthworm. For Phase 2, we again set up a Swords Dance. Earthworm went for Wrap into Arvin's Toadschool, who went for Screech. This, along with the crit, allowed Razor Leaf to take Earthworm to under a quarter. Earthworm then went for a second Wrap in the Toadschool, giving us an easy win. I decided to try the Team Star Firebase next, but yeah, we were not ready. Torko's Flame Wheel took out Sebastian in 2 hits. while we needed a sword stance in order for Slash to take out Torkoal in 2 hits. I decided to do some raid dance and use EXP cadence to get Levincia up to level 42. We still set up a single sword stance against Torkoal, whose Flame Wheel now did a third. Thanks to Sebastian's level, he now had Leaf Blade, which was actually stronger than Slash. It one-shot Torkoal. Last was mainly Star Build. It went first and tried to use Screech, but Sebastian was holding the clear amulet. Leaf Blade then took the Star Build to under half. The Star Build's overheat almost scared us by taking Sebastian into the red, but one more Leaf Blade won us the battle. Time for the normal gem. I had Sebastian set up 2 sword stances, as Kamala used Yawn and then Slam, doing a third to Sebastian. Not to worry, as I had Sebastian holding a chest of berry to negate the sleep. We then one-shot swept Larry's entire team. With 5 badges, we were immediately put into a Namon battle. Blackrock went for its priority of Celerock, as I had Sebastian set up a sword stance. We then got hit by a second Celerock before going on a one-shot sweep of Nemona's team. Terry boosted Leaf Blade is busted. Too bad we'll need to get rid of it. Back at the Treasure Eatery, thanks to defeating Larry, we can get 1 free normal turret type switch, which we used on Sebastian. You'll understand why in a moment. First is our 4th Titan, Great Tusk. Sebastian went first instead of Sword Stance, as Great Tusk went for Rapid Spin to boost its speed. It then went for Brick Break, which Sebastian resisted. Leaf Blade proceeded to one-shot Great Tusk. On to phase 2. Great Tusk went first, and used the Resistance Stomp and Cantrum into Sebastian, as we set up a Sword Dance. Orban's to Clavell and used Scary Face, lowering Great Tusk's speed. Our Leaf Blade took Great Tusk to above half. Clavell's Rage Leaf took Great Tusk to a third, as Great Tusk went for another Stun and Cantrum into Sebastian. It then went down to 1 more Leaf Blade. Next up was the reason why I changed Sebastian's Terror type, the Team Star Poison base. We started with the Sword Stance, as Atticus' Skuntank went for Toxic. We were holding a Pecha Berry. Skuntank went for Sucker Punch and got a flinch. We got hit with a second Sucker Punch after, but then we one-shot Skuntank. Against Muck, we set up a second Sword Stance, as it went for Sludge Wave. This was so we could not only safely one-shot Muck, but also Reverie. Last was Atticus' Star Wheel. It went first, and took Sebastian under half with Noxious Torque, thankfully not getting poisoned, as Slash almost one-shot it. A second Noxious Torque almost took out Sebastian, but 1 more Slash wins us the battle. Time for a gym rush, starting with the Ghost Gem. I started the battle by immediately trash slicing Sebastian. We set up a Sword Stance, as Mimikyu went straight to take out our Magikarp, but then went for Icy Wind, lowering our speed. However, by terrestrializing, we get an Omni Boost from the crowd, neutralizing the speed drop. Banette then hit us with a Sucker Punch before being one-shot by Leaf Blade. Mimikyu was going for Slash, but it wasn't that dangerous. We then proceed to also one-shot Houndstone and Toxtricity. Mimikyu required 2 hits, because of its ability. With now 6 badges, we could buy mints at Chansey Supply, allowing us to use an Adamant Mint to give Sebastian a plus attack nature. For this run, I decided against Hyper Training, as we were using a fully evolved Pokemon this run. Also with 6 badges, we have another Nemona battle. With no Sword Stances, we one-shot Lycanroc. Sliggoo survived Slash and did a thorough Dragon Pulse, but went down the next turn. Palmetto was a one-shot, as was Quackaball. Time for the Psychic Gym. I had Sebastian set up Sword Stance, but then Ferrograph set up Reflect. It didn't really matter though, as X-Scissors still one-shot Ferrograph, and Gardevoir, and Espatra, and Florges. Last is the Ice Gem. I again had Sebastian set up 1 Sword Stance, but then Frostmoth with Blizzard, doing over half of Sebastian's health. However, Bruce's team was also a sweep. With all the gyms done, onto our final Titan. With no setup, Leaf Blade got a crit and one-shot Phase 1 Dondozo. In Phase 2, Leaf Blade still did almost half, and thanks to a Tail Whip from Greedent, we 2-shot Dondozo. On to Tatsugiri. This time, I trash sliced Sebastian and had him use Slash, doing less than a quarter. Tatsugiri decided to use Taunt on Greedent, voiding its Tail Whip. I had Sebastian use Sword Stance, and Tatsugiri used Icy Wind, lowering our speed. Greedent then did some damage with Takedown, however the following turn, Sebastian's Slash took Tatsugiri to under a quarter. Greedent's Takedown then took Tatsugiri to a sliver, allowing us to take it out the next turn. Time to finish off Team Star, starting the Fairy Base. This took a lot of luck. We went for a sword stance, as Azumarill went for bounce. We then terrestrialized, and since Sebastian was faster, I had him set up a second sword stance, as Azumarill missed its bounce. We then one-shot Azumarill and Wigglytuff. Dashman lowered our attack to +3 with Baby Doll Eyes before it went down, leaving only the Starmobile. The Starmobile went first, and used the weak Steel Roller as Slash took it to half. The Starmobile then went for Confuse Ray, causing Sebastian to hit himself for major damage, leading to us going down. This battle required two things. Azumarill missing bounce, because for some reason it was getting amazing paralysis luck, and Sebastian not hitting himself from confusion. I decided to do some grinding, and finally bought a Silk Scar. In case our luck was so bad, we would need to one-shot the Starmobile. We eventually got this run. Azumarill missed its bounce. Dashman did not use Baby Doll Eyes, so we were still going after the Starmobile with +4 attack. It still used Steel Roller, as Slash took it to under a quarter, and then went for Confuse Ray, but Sebastian did not hit himself, giving us the win. Since the fighting base was next, I made a trip to Chansey Supply, and bought a bunch of HP ups in order to raise Sebastian's HP. We apparently still had more EVs to use up after, but I didn't feel like buying more vitamins. On to our battle with Airy. I had Sebastian hold a Petra Berry, since Airy's Toxicroak has insane poison luck. However, as we terrestrialized instead of Sword Dance, Toxicroak's Poison Jab did not get the poison. We then at +2, one-shot Toxicroak, Hessimian, and Annihilate. The ETM for Shadow Claw was close to the fighting base. However, then Lucario came out. It survived Shadow Claw, and finished off Sebastian with Aura Sphere. I got Sebastian all the way up to level 65, but because I was grinding, I forgot to reteach Shadow Claw. Against Toxicroak, I decided to risk it and have Sebastian set up a second Sword Stance. Toxicroak knows Brick Break instead of Close Combat, which Sebastian survives. This allowed us to easily take out Annihilate and Lucario with Leaf Blade. Last was the Starmobile, who just barely survived Slash, allowing it to take out Sebastian. We then got the one-shot against the Starmobile at level 70. Normally I would take on the Elite Four now, but I decided to change it up and battle Director Clavell first. Oranguru is Psychic Normal, so we need to equip X-Scissor over Shadow Claw. I had Sebastian hold a Chester Berry, since Oranguru often uses Yawn. However, this time, after we used Sword Stance, Oranguru used Foul Play, taking Sebastian to a quarter. We then one-shot Oranguru. Surprisingly, Abomasnow was also a one-shot with X-Scissor, but then Gyarados came out with Intimidate. Despite this, at +1, Terry Boosted Slash still one-shot Gyarados and Amoonguss. Both the guys was a one-shot with Leaf Blade, leaving only Scout Urge. Slash did only half, causing us to lose this attempt. Along with getting Sebastian up to level 73, I replaced the Chester Berry with the Clear Emerald. This time, as we set up Sword Stance, Oranguru set up Reflect. It was still one shot. Against Abomasnow, we set up a second and third Sword Stance, as Abomasnow set up a Royal further boosting Clavell's damage negation, and used Blizzard. Sebastian survived Blizzard with under half health. Abomasnow was then one shot. The Clear Element allowed us to negate Gyarados' Intimidate, so we easily plowed through Gyarados, Amoonguss, and Poltergeist, bringing us back to Scarlet Urge, who we now one-shot. Next is Penny. We one-shot Umbreon, Flareon, Leafeon, and Vaporeon. Jolteon did outspeed but missed Thunder, as we one-shot it. Last is Sylveon, who was of course a one-shot. That was our second attempt, because on the first attempt, Jolteon landed Thunder and paralyzed Sebastian. Now let's go take on the Elite Four. Rika's team wasn't easy with Leaf Blade. Against Poppy, we set up a Sword Stance, as Caporaja did almost half a Heavy Slam. Thankfully, for the battle, I gave Sebastian the leftovers. We set up one more Sword Stance, before going on the offensive, sweeping through Poppy's team with Shadow Claw. On to Larry. We immediately terrestrialized, as we set up Sword Stance. This allowed us to take less damage from Tropius' Air Slash. We then one-shot Tropius. For this battle, we were using the Silk Scar, so we were affected by Staraptor's Intimidate. But even at +1, Sebastian was still a monster. Last on Elite Four was Hassel. We set up a Sword Stance, as Norvern missed its Air Slash. We then swept Hassel's entire team, including Baxcalibur. Finally, it's time for Geeta, who was an actual challenge compared to the Elite Four. We set up a single Sword Stance, as the Spother went for Luminar Crash. We didn't one-shot it, but then out came Avalugg. Our +2 slash left Avalugg at a quarter, but then Avalugg's body press took Sebastian to red health. We took it out, just for Geeta to send out King Gambit, who survived slash at half health. The strat was to have Sebastian hold a clear amulet to negate the special defense drop from a Sprouthor's Luminar Crash. This allowed us to set up 2 sword stances, but we were still under half health. This didn't matter, as this was the key to one-shotting Avalugg and King Gambit, along with the rest of Geeta's team. Time for our final battle with Nemona. As we set up one sword stance, Lycanroc missed his Stone Edge. It was a one-shot Leaf Blade. Palmat got it some damage with quick attack, but it went down in one hit. However, they came out Earthworm. Earthworm lived slash at above half. It then used Body Press to take Sebastian to exactly half. We were holding leftovers, by the way. I decided to take the risk, and have Sebastian set up a second sword stance. Sebastian then survived Earthworm's second Body Press with the Sliver. We were only alive thanks to leftovers. When they finished off Earthworm, with now +4 attack, it should come to no surprise we smashed through the rest of Nemona's team. With Penny and Nemona defeated, last is Arven. However, as you could probably predict, after a single sword dance, Arven's team was a sweep. Mastiff does have Intimidate, but we have super effective X-City. We cannot enter Area 0 and face A Asada. We immediately terrestrialized the set of sword stance. This neutralized the damage from Slithering's Ludden, which lowered our attack to +1. Slithering was thankfully still a one-shot. Next was Screamtail. Screamtail survived slash and went for Drain Punch, taking Sebastian under half. I had Sebastian set up a second sword stance before taking out Screamtail. However, we then went down to Brute Bond and Sucker Punch. With Sebastian holding the clear amulet, we were still not able to take out Screamtail, so we were again taken to below half. This time though, we just immediately took out Screamtail. At half health, Brute Bond did not go for Sucker Punch, so we quickly took it out. However, they came out Fluttermane. It went first, and its Thunderbolt took Sebastian to red health. It was a one-shot Leaf Blade. We thankfully outsped Sandy Shocks, who also went down to Leaf Blade. All that remained was Word Moon, who outsped and finished off Sebastian. I decided to do some grinding, and get Sebastian up to level 85. Sebastian now one-shot Screamtail with a +2 slash, so no Drain Punch damage. Fluttermane still outsped and its Thunderbolt took Sebastian to half health. However, this time, Sebastian outsped Word Moon, who we took out with a single X-Scissor. We beat Pokemon Scarlet with only Leavanny. That was a relatively easy run, compared to what I'm used to at least. It was fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time when I'm going to be introducing a new game on the channel.